12th. I was right. How about that?
It
That was
is.
a lucky
Well, it
guess.
depends
the
on
12th.
where you are in the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, International
Technically,
Date Line.
it could be the 13th in some places right now.
I mean, you could be listening to this not now.
In the future.
We need a
Hopefully somebody's
title of
listening
this
to it.
week's stream. Someone. It's always Questook Sunday night! ! But what is going to come after that?
Oh,
My
a new
balls or
year.
whatever.
Huh?
I don't know. Mythical Matthew McConaughey. I don't know. What is it? What is it? Where I think
That's what I personally title our
I
episode.
think we're in the Isles of Verdune, so you can put that in there somewhere.
Matthew. Ah, fuck. How do I spell McConaughey?
MCCONGHGY.
Yeah. AUGH.
Yep.
EY?
EY.
Yeah, McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
So-
The Isles of Verdune.
So,
man.
Ying, why don't you go ahead and give us a recap from last week so we can set the scene and sort of get ourselves back on track.
Also, as a
Yeah,
note, Nate will be here for the week. He's just fixing some mic issues at the moment.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So, following the events of Khosroth that day, our heroes pay Unri one last visit. Unri provides them all with travel charms in the form of bracelets that would guide them back safely to Bonbera should they ever need to return. Valjean expresses his gratitude to Unri, and everyone donates to the village's monastery before departing back to the Rancid. Back on board, the crew convinces Ringo to make for Okozi, a major city in Oeshe, so that they can make a quicker journey to Falyuan's home village of Nthanga. In return for his help, Falyuan promises to try and secure a trade export of coffee. As they set sail, the boys finally have a chance to wind down and process all that they've experienced. Falyuan tells everyone about Verdune from his father's journal. Walden cheats everyone in a game of Steal the Rib, and Viv feels that he's ready to remove curses, which he promptly does for his fellow companions. In the evening, Viz receives word from Jake that the Ferrum Company is no more, and that Kel has begun to descend into chaos, which unsettles the crew. Within a few days, the Rancid closes in on Oeshe. Falyuan breathes a sigh of relief and excitement. That is, until they close in on Okozi. Falyuan's excitement quickly turns into seething fury as everyone sights the war galleons of the Frostline docked in the harbor. As the Rancid pulls in, the boys see an encampment of the Frostline to the east outside of Okozi. Upon docking, the group begin to say their farewells to Ringo while trying to keep Falyuan from doing anything rash. Kenny asks Ringo to keep an eye on Monty for him for a while since he feels that the journey ahead may be perilous. Ringo agrees and the boys make for Ukozi. In the tavern, they learn that the Frostline have been in Ukozi for over 2 weeks now in a campaign to help the people of Po and Hueshe defend their lands from the growing power of the Kantaku to the east. A gnome by the name of Fulbar Thorngage tells Kenny that 14 months ago, the Kantaku began an offensive on Po and Ueshe in an attempt for unification. They had taken the Ueshan city of Katura before the Frostline came in and offered their support in exchange for supplies and access to the Kantaku city of Rubia. Fulbar expresses his disdain for the Frostline and explains that there are currently 120 men here and more galleons are en route. With new intel, our heroes begin to try and get a lay of the land. Falyuan suggests that they may learn more in his home village in Nthanga, where he hopes to find familial support. Walden thinks the Cerulean may be helpful here and begins looking for signs of activity. Viz and Kenny gather information on local highlights in Ukozi. With a plan of attack ready, the boys exit the tavern and begin their day.
Yeah, ba 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 ba
All
ba
right.
ba.
That'll bring us to where we are.
At the moment.
So it's sort of midday here in Ukozi. It's a nice port city. You guys are just outside a tavern that you guys have left. Let's see. Let's find out where exactly you guys were. You guys...
It was right near the docks, if I remember correctly.
You sound much better, Nate.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm Nate. I play one of the characters. It doesn't matter.
Oh, well, we haven't done our introductions, so we should probably do that before we get going. Thank you for reminding us, Nate. So, I'm Tom, your GM. Going down the line, we'll just sort of do this quick. Johnny, take it away.
Johnny playing Visritel Vayolna, the elfin wizard, the one you know and you love, ready to explore the Isles of Verdune.
Fel?
Hey guys, I'm Being. I play Fel Yuen, the man of many halves, and for once, not halfway around the world, almost home.
For once.
For once.
Walden.
My name's Nate. I play the character of Walden. He's rogue and human.
And sounds a little bit like this sometimes when Nate remembers.
Yeah. Well, I always remember when I'm in character. I remember.
Kenny.
Hello, my name's Kenny. Also Joe. I'm a gnome druid. Let's get this show on the road.
All right.
Nate, we're getting a little bit of feedback from your mic. Just
You think it's feedback?
or like just bounce back. Like I was hearing Joe through your mic a little bit.
Are you sure it's mine? Mine is my audio is not coming through my computer.
Yeah, no, I saw your thing light up.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So
we
let's
go.
deal with that as we go. So placing us in the village of Ukozi, you guys are outside a little town here, sorry, outside our tavern, the Greasy Bugbear.
Ooh.
Where you guys had spoken just a little bit with Full Bar. And I think Kenny had spoken a little bit with one of the members of the Frost Line who was sitting at the bar as well.
His name was Christopher Prim.
Christopher
Officer Christopher Prim.
Prim. And that will sort of put us out on the streets. And you guys hear the bell of midday. And you know, you can smell some street food and stuff in the air. And you know, several cloaked Frostline members sort of walk by casually, not giving you a second glance. What would you guys like to do?
Let's see here. We have the Alchemist store. We have the Mirelurk Saber.
And you guys know that there's a blacksmith in town. There's an alchemist in town. There's a general store. There's a coffee shop.
And the Hound and Dragon is the lavish stay in town.
Yes.
Well, I do not think we should waste any time. We should,
We need a place to stay, right?
yeah.
Unless you guys plan on camping outside, you will need some sort of a place to stay.
Well, he told us that there was a rather nice place in the Noble District, sort
Yeah,
of
the
Noble-ish
Hound and
district.
Dragon.
Yes.
Owned by Ariel.
So maybe we find a room, put our stuff down, and then explore the town for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I could use some ammo.
Me too. We should have bought some off of Ringo.
Well, we can find it here
What kind-
without a problem,
What
probably.
kind of ammo you guys needed?
Shotgun shells.
I believe I have some on me. Hold on. Kenny like rubbles, like digs through his backpack. Yeah, here. Take 15.
Also, after hearing all of these stories, where are we standing right now?
We are.
You guys are just on the street at the moment, just outside this tavern.
Should we walk and talk a little bit?
Yes. What
Yeah,
is
you
this?
can see- you can see that there's a temple up in front of you guys.
Oh, interesting.
And
A
yeah, so
temple
not
to whom?
let me just grab my. So we've done a little bit of writing this week, and we'll see how this plays out in this session, and then we'll sort of discuss things as we go. So there is I guess you would call it a temple, because they wouldn't call it a church. There's a temple to the Ardent Path up ahead. So the Ardent Path is this was something you guys would know. The Ardent Path is sort of the gods Gobeta, Barjin, Lifthrasa, Arnon, and Karasis all sort of combined together.
The human pantheon, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like the terrestrial pantheon, non Fey or non fairy. And so it's your more common, especially you guys being from Kel. The Ardent Path is pretty common for you guys. That's like the normal temple you would see.
Well, that's a good enough place to find a, peaceful place to talk quietly.
You can also see above the towering up above this church, this temple, is an enormous tree, which is probably, let's see, if I were to look up and think about it, it's probably like 150 or almost 200 feet tall. Wow. It's an enormous tree with a huge canopy that's sort of the entire center of this town. It's the only tree that you can see around until you would see outside the city walls.
This is quite impressive.
And you can see there's all sorts of people sort of out on what is almost a lawn underneath that tree. Talking, walking, that kind of stuff.
Kind of like a mall.
Yeah. It's moderately kept up. You guys are sort of wandering the grounds out here outside the temple at the moment.
Well, let us find this inn. The Hound and Dragon.
That sounds pretty good.
So wait, I have a quick question. Would the people of this land, are they known to worship the gods that the people of Kel worship?
Yeah. We worship all the different gods, definitely. And some of the natives, Fal, you can go ahead and answer that question. As far as the natives.
I would say traditionally, no. My father and our people did not necessarily worship the Ardent Path or any gods like that. More so, worshipping gods means that you are betraying, essentially, the laws of nature. Instead, they choose to put their faith in the spirits and the animals and what the land gives us. And
so who do you think built this temple then?
Path?
I mean, tradition.
Missionaries, probably.
Yeah.
Coming to spread the word.
This place has always been a place of trade. For people to, have their way here, to be welcome.
Well, that is interesting. Then I didn't know this place had become so popular.
It is a first for both of us.
Well, I've always heard that the Isles of Verdune were fairly popular with everyone. That's what
great
makes
place to
them
come and party.
Yeah. So everyone goes for spring break.
Well, we were in the store.
Yeah, I would say that what you guys are saying is absolutely correct, and very much like the way that people go to sort of like parts of the Caribbean and stuff like that, or like parts of the Yucatan for spring break. It's similar to that, like people would come here, but they might not come to this spot exactly. It's just like, it's the general area. So similar to that area, there's going to be remote spots and spots that are, different.
More popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is obviously a major city. Valion, how big is your ancestral town?
Not that big as far as I can tell. But that has been...
It sounds like... like your warrior, your town and your, people were more of a druidic or Fey worshipping group.
It was tribal more than anything, but it has been 30 years, so that gives room for growth.
And for conversion.
Well, I was just wondering if it was the Frostline who'd built the churches as another... Also, like, is it... Well, I mean, as we're walking and talking, Viz will say under very hushed tones to those next to him, does it not seem suspicious, this tribe gaining power out of nowhere to force the other tribes to seek supply and favor with the Frostline. It's very similar to what the elves went through with the orcs. Remember? With the Orcish armies in the Elven lands?
Yes.
Out of nowhere, the Orcish army gets incredibly well supplied and attacks the Elven lands in incredible, coordination in a way that they've never done before. And yet, out of nowhere, the Frostline's right there, ready for supplies. Suspicious. Same for here. Out of nowhere, this tribe gets power 20, 30 years ago, and now there's all of these areas that need help and trade, and who's there to help? The Frostline.
It was longer than that, though. This tribe's had this Davari for at least 60 years.
That is very true. They have had it since before I was born.
That's, or at least that's to the best of Caledorius' knowledge. He said it was at least 60 years.
Yeah.
Still, it stinks of the
60 years.
Frostline, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it could stink of a lot of things. We just had a dragon land in front of us and tell us that we needed to get what we were getting for Caledorius for him. I
That's
mean,
very true.
Yeah.
we've got a bunch of interested parties. What we need to be focused on right now is getting to Falyuan's hometown. Walding, you need to be concentrated on getting contact with the Cerulean. And Viz, just don't draw attention to us or yourself.
Yes, fair enough.
In regards
To
to
do that.
That being said, I think I've got an in to walk around the camp of the Frostline. I think.
Well,
I talked to the officer at the end of the bar that perked his head up when you had mentioned the Frostline, Viz. His name is Christopher Prim, and apparently my family has been supplying the Frostline, or at least all of their officers, with their standard issue pistol.
oh.
Really?
Well, how's that make you feel?
I need to. I hope to get my letter or my pigeon back soon, so I can send my brother a correspondence.
If
Perhaps.
you have something I can use to connect with him mentally, I can do a sending. 20
Unfortunately,
words.
I don't think I have anything of his on me. My thoughts is that my older sister has gotten it in his head about how much money they'll make.
Well, war does
aside from
profit.
Frostline.
It's
Well,
unfortunate.
my family's always profited. It's never been a problem for us. Everybody likes to kill things.
Yes.
Do it pretty good.
Yes, fair enough.
So, I think if I could walk around their camp a little bit, I could glean some information.
Are you going to do it as you or as...
Oh, my name is Kringle Upbottom.
Okay.
Anybody asks.
Oh boy.
I
Wow. How's
Well
that
done.
going for you, man?
Yeah, I think there's a cream for that now. Kringle up bottom.
Ha ha ha. If anybody asked, my name's Kringle Upbottom. Got it?
Okay. I'll
Got
make
it.
sure to let them know. Don't you worry.
And if anybody else asks, or if anybody asks about Kringle Upbottom, we just got here, and
Should we all come up with aliases?
I don't really know if you guys will need them, but I'm gonna go try to fix some weapons.
I could definitely
In
use
the,
one. I also need to lay low. I am beginning to realize I draw a lot of attention, and being known by apparently one of the Frostline's lieutenants quite well, I might not want to be seen all
Yeah.
that often.
I'm thinking that
Well,
goes for all of us.
I think we could probably maybe find a place to settle down, maybe like a base of operations. I'm
let's
comfortable
go
in the
see.
city. I think we should just go to an inn. I'm comfortable at a bar, so I'm thinking
Oh, what's up? What happened? Hello?
I'll respond in kind.
Oh my god.
Good God.
What's happening?
Don't
Can
worry.
anybody see something happening? Because I can't. I
Just-
can hear things.
Just breathe through the nausea, Viz. Ooh. Oh boy.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. Yeah. He walks off.
So I take it Walden just heads off, like following a dude.
Walden.
I'm gonna find I'll find a place to stay. Let me take care of something really quick.
I'll send Terry after you. We're going to find a hotel room.
I'm just gonna put my arm around Viz and be like, he'll be fine. He can find us better than anybody else.
Yes.
Fair.
Let us go to the inn.
Let us get a room.
So you guys are gonna go find the Hound and Dragon? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Well, the three of us are.
Yeah. So Walden, you follow this man, and he sort of winds his way down a couple of side streets, and you making obvious turns so that you can follow him,
Right.
and then sort of ducks into this building right here.
It's a trap.
I'll put a little.
Where is
little
it?
mark.
Sorry. Can you mark it again?
Oh, no, I'll put a little mark on it so that you know. So he heads into this. He heads into this building, and leaves the door ajar, maybe about an inch or so.
Okay. I'm gonna go in and search the door really quick.
Yeah, go right ahead. Make me a perception check.
I suck at perception. Oh, I'm so much better at perception checks now than I used to be. Because I got a bonus to skills.
Leveling up.
Oh, that helps as well.
What do I find?
Yeah, door is
What don't you
unlocked.
find?
You don't see any obvious traps or anything like that.
What kind of wood is that door made out of, though?
Door's made out of a good
Mahogany.
oak. It's a nice oak, actually. And you notice that there has been a trap laid on this door previously, but it's not currently set at the moment.
Okay, cool. I'll walk in, kind of proud looking.
Strut
in.
Yeah, so the man that you saw before, he's a human, maybe about mid-50s or so, and he's sitting by a small fireplace in a kind of a shitty-looking chair, with his feet up, and there's a shitty-looking chair kind of across from him. And as you walk in, he lights a cigarette.
Okay. I'm gonna take out a. Are there cards in Mitchell's Shill, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take it because I think I had a deck of them before, like way before.
Okay.
I'm gonna take them out and just start shuffling, and I'll put them down on the table and sit. You said there's a table in between the tables?
Yeah, there's like a table in between that he had his feet up on, kind of.
I'll put the deck down and just sit next to him.
I'll
be like, "Do I know you?"
He's like, "Yeah, I think so. I think we met that some time ago. You're Corn Appleby, right?"
I have been called that, yes.
Yeah.
My name's Walden, man.
He nods and
And
puts
who
out
am I speaking with?
I'm Bryce. Bryce Button.
Well, something's coming to me. Did we meet in Corvée?
In Corvée some time ago. We were introduced. We were both working for the Don at the time. Things have changed, Corn Appleby.
I saw something with the Don that... Yeah, I'd like to ask you about that. So we are not working for the Don, it looks like, anymore. Are you?
No. Shit's gone to hell.
What's going on, friend?
You remember? Do you remember Artie Krusko?
Refresh my memory.
Well, Artie used to run the chapter in the Arches.
Yeah, Artie.
So, about a week or so ago, some big shit happened. Out of nowhere, he's Frostline. He does one of those, looks around and lowers his voice a little bit. He's Frostline coming to town. Back in back east in Cal. And they come marching in, and all of a sudden, Don Johnny turns things on its head. Apparently, he had a bunch of guys on the inside who knew what was going on. They done see some sort of power lined with these Frostline, started killing people. A bunch of orcs rode into town? You ever seen an orc before?
I have.
They had half wolf men with them. It was hurling magic spells. I'm sorry, Corn Appleby. He like lowers his voice again. I'm getting worked up. I saw some things.
Magic spells. Hey, I've seen magic. I know what it is. I'm actually gonna cast a little mage hand. And put it
He like steps up from his seat.
lifts up a card.
Whoa.
Hey man, magic can be your friend. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be afraid.
He like slowly
Frost
lowers
line.
himself back down.
The frost line is definitely not your friend.
I don't know what's what, but see, here's the thing. We decided we gotta do something on our own. Strike out.
So you came here and you found the frost line here, huh?
Well, we knew I had a couple of members who had hid out in the Isles for a while. So we thought this little port town would be a good place to start. You see, once Zafir broke off, that's what his name is now. Don Johnny, he goes by Zafir.
No kidding.
Once he
I've
broke
heard that
off,
name
he
before.
took Juden Redbrim, one of the leaders out of the north. They started linking up with some of the Circle of Three gang. Them all together joined together with the Frostline. They're calling themselves something new.
What do they call themselves?
Well, you see, they took out the Farron Company. And they call themselves Kingdom of Dukel. Trying to make it sound all official.
Yeah. Alright, man.
So I need your help.
Christopher, right? Are you Brett? You're Christopher, right?
No.
Oh, you're Bryce?
Yeah, I'm Bryce.
Okay,
I'm Bryce.
cool.
Christopher is Kenny's contact.
Oh, right. My bad.
But I need your help.
Well, I think I'd like to help you. What are you doing now?
You see, I was told to come here because I think some of these villagers, there's been rumor that there's magic in some of these villages. Druids and things alike, sorcerers of the land. We're sort of trying to gather all kinds together. Anybody who can fight against this new uprising.
Oh, I fought against them. Hey, I just got to know, did you hear about up in Stormtop? There was a big there's a big festival that got broken up, the Frostland. Did you hear about that?
Did?
Hey man, that was me.
What? Really?
Yeah,
that was you?
Some of my friends too. Yeah.
Oh man, dude! I mean, people be talking about that all over Kel.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
so
I mean,
glad to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's what
do they
actually
call
happened
it?
up there.
What do
I
they
mean, like,
call
what did you guys do up there? Because, I mean, they called it the Great Coming.
Oh, nice. I like the sound of that, man.
But I wasn't really sure what had happened because it seems after that the Frostline started marching south.
They did. Well, man, I'll tell you about it over some whiskey sometime. But why don't you start by telling me how I can help you? I have friends in town. We've gone toe to toe with the Frostline before. We don't mind doing it again. In fact, that's why we're here. We're looking for something. Maybe you can help me.
All right. Well, I'm looking for connections. I'm trying to find some mages. Anybody who knows any more of this magic. It seems like you got some on your side.
Oh yeah.
We got a meeting coming up. This rebellion's trying to get itself off the ground. We're trying to take down this kingdom before it becomes something. There's a meeting.
What about the Kel government? Like, what?
Hey,
The army's there.
They're the new government.
I see.
Most of the people bent the
What's
knee.
happening in Corvée?
Corvée bent the knee.
Oh God, I can't believe it.
It's kind of 50-50. You know, citizens aren't going to say much in fear of their lives, but I know there's good people out there who would fight the fight. So we're gathering in the fen, deep in the forest. That city's still a holdout. I'm trying to gather as many people as I can and get the word out there. What I need you to do is do the same. Gather anybody you know. Magic user, man of the land, anyone who can tap into those arcane, or however you call them, deep powers.
Well, I know someone who does, and he's associated. He used to be part of the Cerulean too. I know some people that can help. When can we meet?
Well, he pulls out this little book, and starts flipping through dates. The 10th of Yunke.
And what day is it today?
Today's the 17th of. So it's a little bit less than a month from now.
Okay.
It's that's when we're all set to meet, within that week or so.
And what happens at this meeting?
Well, we've all branched out and trying to gather as many as we can, and we're going to try to form some sort of an offensive and come up with an idea how we're going to fight this thing.
I feel very strongly that I should help you. Where's the meeting place?
He tells you that it's at the fen is a city, and
Fen.
basically
Okay.
the city is kind of a stronghold at the moment. So you'll find many of us. You'll pretty much find all of us there.
Are you alone here?
No, I've got a couple of friends. We're branching out in a little bit, but I'm trying to catch anybody I notice coming through town, anything like that. Where are you and your
Well,
friends headed?
We're headed deeper in.
Well, be
I've
careful
got
of
a
those
friend that's-
Frostline troops out there. I don't know. Something's going on
What?
here.
Would they shoot someone like me on sight though, or what? Can I
No.
talk to them?
No. But with your reputation,
I mean, the Great Coming.
there was word they were looking for some fugitives for a while, but I don't know if these guys got anything to do with that.
All right, man. Well, thanks, Bryce. I'm around town. I'm gonna be staying at one of the inns. You can find me, I'm sure.
I'll be here, Corn Appleby.
I go by Horst Saperstein now.
Ah, that's different. I like that.
Pretty cool.
He does he gets up and does one of the cerulean salutes.
I'll go.
He then hands you 5 coin. He's like, hopefully this will get you a hot meal.
Oh. All right. Thanks, man.
He's like, take care of yourself out there.
Hey, you too. All right. If you need anything, I'm around for a little bit.
As he walks you to the door, he looks left and right, and then closes the door behind you, and you hear a couple of clicks and things like that on the locks.
Awesome.
I
would like to see my friends now.
All right. You find yourself back in the city. I imagine you catch up with your friends just as they're looking for and about to walk into the what do we call it? The Hound and Dragon, right?
Yeah, the Hound and Dragon.
So yeah, just as they're about to walk into the Hound and Dragon.
Poshiest placed.
What'd you say?
It says it's the poshiest place in town.
It is the poshiest place in town.
I like poshy.
So it's a large, timber and brick building with a slate roof. And
Point it out.
yeah, I'll point it out. Oh, it's actually kind of covered by the map a little bit. Hold on, let me move this image a little. I'll mark it with a little thing. This this one right here.
Did we notice if this was gated or not?
It looks like it can be. It looks like it's currently not closed. But yeah, it looks like the entrances, if you were to have walked past them, you notice that they had big iron gates. I think that could be
I
closed.
mean, we had time while
Yeah.
while Walden was doing stuff, so we took a circuitous route.
So yeah, it looks like the city can be
Keep an eye on
walled.
their exits.
You're also pretty familiar with seeing walled cities, where it's like sometimes it's just for protection from wildlife and stuff like that. There's all sorts of reasons to wall a city. There could have been wars in the past and other stuff. So this inn's like a large timber and brick building with a slate roof. As you guys sort of walk in, I imagine that Walden, you sort of catch them just as they're entering into the place.
Friends, hey guys.
Oh,
Walden. Welcome back.
So the place is sort of, it's got like a little bit of like a Lithanian vibe, a little bit of like an elf vibe going on. So you can see a bunch of people are drinking out of these interesting looking drinking vessels, and along one of these long shelves that's behind the bar, there's like all these exotic drinking vessels from like around the world. And as you walk in, there's a bar and stuff, and sort of like a little like a dining area, and then there's immediately as you walk in, there's a desk that's like an innkeeper's desk. And there's this female elf and sort of standing behind it. Behind her, there is this beautifully carved like hardwood shield that's got all these like flower and leaf patterns and stuff like that. Just that adorns like all over it. It's like gorgeous looking, highly polished, and like hangs on the wall behind her desk.
Does it look real or is it clearly decorative?
It's hard to say. It's one of those things where if it is real, it's one of the most decorative shields you've ever seen. But it's very possible that it is, you know. So she like, you know, smiles as you guys walk in the door. Greetings.
Never in my life have I seen
good
such
day.
Yes, hello. I think my friend here is quite impressed with your shield.
It used to belong to renowned warlord Gilmini, who slew the serpent of the Cedar Hills.
Huh.
Hmm.
And
Well-
yet, it hangs here in this place.
Well, it was owned by my ancestors long passed down to me.
Are you a descendant of this great warrior?
She smiles. No.
Hmm.
But welcome. Interest in some food, beverage, perhaps a room?
Yeah, all three, actually, now that you ask.
Well, we've got several large rooms available. Would you like one for the whole group, or are you looking to stay separately?
I think one for the whole group's fine.
Yeah.
You can get your own room, Nate.
No, that's all good. Let's all bunk together. I like it.
For one room for the group of you, it's going to be 10 gold pieces a night.
All
And that'll
right.
include your meals and everything down here. 2 meals a day. Be breakfast and dinner served promptly.
Promptly
usually-
when?
Well, we'll serve breakfast slightly after dawn, and dinner just around sundown.
All right.
Is that what they call a continental breakfast?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I mentioned, I'm Anel.
Wonderful to meet you. I'm now VERDUNE at your service.
She looks to the rest of you, and like she writes down the name Visrudelveuna, and she like looks to the other four of you standing there.
I look around to each of them and I say, "My name is Falyu."
She writes that down. Billy Bob pipes up, and she writes down his name. And she like looks over at you, Kenny.
Kensington, Flintlock.
All right, and Walden.
My name is Walden.
All right, she just writes Walden. She doesn't seem phased by any of that. She's like, great then. So the deposit will be 10 gold pieces for the night.
Viz will take that.
All right, she'll promptly grab those from you. And we'll grab then a key from underneath the desk and hand it to you.
All right.
She says, head upstairs, 3rd floor. It's going to be the room at the end of the hall, number 6.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Right then, lunch is available for purchase here at the bar. Otherwise than that, if you need anything, just come down and see me here at the front desk.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you. I'm Nell, right?
Thank you, Anna.
Yes.
I'm
So,
Nell.
her name's Anel, Anel.
And now. As everybody else walks away, I'm gonna tip her 2 gold and wink at her, and like bound off after everybody else without saying it.
Make me a charisma check. Just a charisma roll.
I don't think it's very good, but
Let's see if you have spinach in your teeth or not.
it's a -1. I wink really creepily.
You totally have spinach in your teeth.
Oh,
no.
definitely. With a 2,
Oh,
you're just like,
You're so creepy.
she's like, she smiles and stifles a
gag.
I'll vomit.
gag.
He sprays like Purell on your coin.
It's like,
So you guys head upstairs. The rooms are the accommodations are quite nice. There's you guys basically share like one large room where there's several bunks and things like that, and some trunks and stuff to put your belongings and things in. There's like a communal bath room that's like in the hallway for like the entire floor. But it seems like overall pretty nice accommodations. Definitely nicer than you've had in a while.
Wow, nice. See, Viz, you spend a little extra money. Look what you get, man.
And there's
We have a communal
availability for like hot
Yeah.
baths and showers and stuff like that for everybody.
Oh,
Nice.
we're in civilization again, boys.
So
That's good.
yeah, what would you guys like to do? You found some, you found a little bit of safety at the moment.
Viz is going to take a bath and then change into a different, less, a more subtle outfit.
Val?
And I'm gonna
It
be
would
right back.
Nice to get our clothes cleaned.
Yes, laundering. I'm in on that.
Yeah,
would.
the inn will do that for you.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
I was hoping to go get some coffee, but before we do so, I wanted to tend to my Allosaurus egg.
Yeah. So you haven't like checked it out in a while, right?
Yeah, we've been romping around in the temple or the shrine.
Yeah. So, I mean, previously you'd bought it because it was meant to be like cultivated and stuff like that. So, how long's it been since you've done anything with it?
I think 1 or 2 days. We left it with Monty on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not sure how it is. That's why I'm hoping to tend to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I would say you know absolutely nothing about what to do with an egg.
I pull out the handy guide I was given from Bonder.
Yeah. I would say one of the things in reading through the guide, you're like, oh no, it was supposed to be like kept warm the whole time. Like, that didn't happen, and it hasn't been in like a stable, dry climate the whole time either. So you're like, I don't know. I'm not sure how well things are going with this egg. Why don't you roll me let's see. Let's give you a check to make for taking care of your egg.
Nature?
Yeah, I think probably a nature check.
Yeah.
I think that works. Why don't you give me disadvantage on that check, though? Only because you've been neglecting this egg.
Yeah, I did not mean to. Oh,
Okay, still pretty
Wow.
good. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
So 17, Val. you know, you put your hands on it, and you can still feel that there's like something like moving a little bit in there. So you're like, all right, well, I haven't fucked this thing up royally. So you feel like you need to give it a little bit more attention, and it's probably still a couple weeks away from hatching.
Okay. Is there a fireplace in the room?
Yeah, there is.
Sweet. I'm gonna get that going and leave it by the fire. not like close, but enough to like kind of warm up a little.
So you take stock of the book a little bit more and read up on how to attend for the egg a little bit better. In the future, now just remember that when you make a roll for tending to the egg, that you'll have advantage on the check because you're now actively trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
And maybe next time I can help you out.
Walden, what are you up to?
Well, when everybody's done with all their stuff, I want to tell them some of the things I learned.
I mentioned you guys are going about, and you can chat with the party about what you learned.
Yeah. So, Viz, this... Oh, he's gone.
Oh, I'm here.
This concerns the Cerulean. I met an old contact in Corvée. Actually, it concerns all of us, though. All of us that care about Kel. Val, I know it's not your homeland, but...
My mom lives there, so of course I care.
Kel is completely under Frostline rule.
I've heard as much.
Fallen, he's bending the knee.
Jake said as much in the sending. Corvée fell weeks ago. I told you the head of the Enclave is a lieutenant in the Frostline now.
Now, there's a name you said to me once in passing. Zephyr?
Yes.
He's also known as Don Johnny, leader of the Cerulean.
That is true.
Well, he's with the Frostline now.
Yep.
I know we had that image of him. We saw that. But people are trying to fight back and get Kel back, and I'd like to help them. They're raising an army in the Fae. Or the Fen.
What about the eastern cities of Kel?
Apparently all of Kel has been the knee. People aren't happy, but they don't know what else to do.
That would make sense why my family's been selling arms to the Frostline.
They don't have a choice.
Nope. All of our manufacturing is done in Kel.
Well, it seems this Frostline dilemma is becoming...
I think we need to be mum's the word for the next 2 days about the Frostline and our intentions. We need to stay the night and then get out of Dodge.
Actually, I was going to say that as well, because apparently our antics up in, what's it called? Stormtop. People know about it, and they're looking for us, definitely.
So, as expected, we are wanted men.
Correct.
Well then, Walden, you think you can get the page out of the ledger before we leave tomorrow morning?
Yeah, that's probably something I should do. I should have probably warned you guys before we did all that. But
it's all right. They know me at the other bar as Crinkle Up Bottom, so nobody will be
I had some
wise
stuff
to
going
us
on.
there. So let's say this. We'll spend the night tonight. Let's all stay quiet and get out of town. We'll head and we'll head north until we get to a road that'll take us to your town. Or maybe we should take a little bit of the woods for a while. I mean...
Perhaps we can secure horses, like you said.
Would be nice. If nobody's got objections to it, I was gonna take a stroll around town in a disguise for a little bit.
I would join you.
Well, I was gonna do a little skulking around the camp.
Oh.
Something not everybody is gonna be able to do.
No, but we should skulk around town and get information in the meantime.
As much as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, if there's
got this
anything
evening.
specific you would like to know from my contacts, they might be able to help. But
We need to get through the end. We need to get to Rubia after we get to Falyuan's family town. Correct? We need to know if there's a break in the battle lines between, the two sides, and if there is, if we can, get to Rubia.
And that is the quickest.
We could go back to our
but-
old disguise as merchants.
But
what are we selling though?
I don't know, whatever we find in
the
town.
thing is, that's what the Frostline's looking to do as well. They're looking to get into Rubia as well, because they're looking for the same thing that we're looking for. So we need to get there quickly. So we need to get out of here tomorrow.
Maybe we can
Viz-
find information on when they are planning their attack. And swoop in and take the stone before they do.
That would be nice. Falyuan, why don't you secure horses? Walden, you see if you can find anything through your contact about, maybe merchant lines into Rubia that we could possibly take.
Yeah.
And Viz, find something to sell.
I'll get us some wares that we can take across county lines, as it were.
And I'm gonna go turn into a cat and run around in the camp to see if I can learn anything of the Frostline's comings and goings. Anybody know what is a good luck cat in the Frostline?
I mean, knowing those motherfuckers, probably black.
Or albino white.
Yeah, like a
Right.
lich.
Probably white cat. Makes sense.
I'm gonna
All right.
I'm gonna-
So
turn.
Ken.
I'm gonna in front of them. I'm gonna turn into what looks like mostly white, but I've got we've got what looks like a collar, like a mink collar almost, like it's like a band of white and of gray and brown, and the rest of me is white. And I'm very distinct, and so you guys know what I look like, and I nod to you guys, and then I jump out the window.
All right.
all right.
There
Kenny
he
Cat's
goes.
gone.
I've got 3 hours. So it was noon, right? Or 1 o'clock?
Yeah, we'll call it afternoon. Call it vague.
Okay.
You've got the afternoon.
Nice.
So Viz, you take your bath and stuff. Everybody else sort of gets settled a little bit. And Kenny Cat takes off out the window. Do you guys want? I'll give you guys the choice. Do you guys want to role play all of the getting of all of the supplies and various other things, or do you want to just say that Falyuan acquires horses? Viz, if you want to find a thing to acquire, what kind of supply? What would you imagine is an interesting where for you to, if you want to think on what you think would be an interesting thing for you guys to sell?
Well, first I'd have to get information about the local economy around here, like what sells around here, what is an import, what people don't have.
People export coffee, and it's a kind of think about it kind of like the Caribbean or something like that. So I'll let you think of whatever. It's entirely up to you. So take a minute or two to think on that.
All right.
I looked at this and I tell them my family are part of that export. So I was hoping to establish something for Ringo. It's not out of line to do so here.
Well, so coffee. Well, I'll think about it. Let me.
Yeah, take some time. Val, did you want to do anything besides gathering horses and mounts and stuff?
Yeah, I was going to go to the coffee shop and mingle around there.
Yeah, so horses are no problem. You're able to, I'll say that you're able to get 5 horses. One's a pony because you got the small character. And you bring them to the inn,
War
because there's like a
Pony.
stable and stuff like that. Not War Pony. And sort of put them in the stable there, and they're taken care of and whatnot. You could even have them delivered there so that they're there when you guys get there.
Nice.
And so then you make your way to the coffee shop. I'll say Viz joins you, because if Viz is going to try to figure out what kind of trade and stuff like that, makes sense for the two of you guys to go together.
Yeah.
Walden, are you joining them at all, or are you...
I was just gonna go talk to my contact, and I need to get that ledger thing, which
Okay.
I can roleplay later, though.
Cool.
But I'll come with him for now. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. So the three of you guys roll out to the coffee shop, and we'll have Viz, you, and Fal have done those things separately. So yeah, you guys get to the coffee shop. It's pretty bustling for the afternoon. Seems like there's people who are in port. There's numerous of the Frostline who are here, and there's a bunch of locals and stuff like that as well, who are all sort of like mingling about in this place. And yeah, it seems like more active than the local bar was, with numerous people and stuff like that. So yeah, do you guys want to what do you guys want to do in here?
I look to Viz and Walden and I say, well, if I am to understand my family people better, I figured I would start by they trade coffee.
I am
Would you guys like some?
This is sure.
Yeah, so you guys are able to, get cups of coffee and whatnot. It's one of those things where, similar to as if you're not familiar with coffee culture, you walk up to the counter and there's all these options that you have no idea what they are. Yeah, I want coffee, and they're like, what kind of coffee do you want?
I go up and I say, do you have what they call in Kill a pumpkin spice latte?
You hear one of the people behind the counter snicker, and the woman who's behind the bar, who's got like a little tag on that says Vigfus. What's up? What do you need? Control. Okay. Here you go. It has a little tag that says Vigfus. He or she, it's kind of hard to tell, smiles and says, oh, we have something similar that I think you'll like.
Okay.
We don't really do that here. So, yeah.
First time here. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's obvious. That's fine. Yeah, we'll get you something good. Don't worry. And so she fulfills your order, making you feel like a total jackass, and overcharges the shit out of you. And she's like, "Come back now." And you go over to the table with three,
as she sticks out his or her tits, and pushes forward the tip jar.
I imagine you walk over the table trying to balance like three foamy coffee drinks, and sort of like set them down for you and your friends. You're surrounded by a table of Frostline and Company to your left, to your right, like two locals who look like they're involved in some sort of a conversation, and then like numerous other people sort of who are in port and don't look particularly like distinct as being like localers or Frostline. They're just like a mix of other people from all over the place. Is there anything you guys are looking for in particular? The drink is delicious. You're like, oh god, I feel like an asshole, but it's still good.
Yeah, I am looking for anyone who brands a falcon on their attire.
Looking for some falcons?
Yeah, someone who, to my knowledge, be someone of much rank.
Okay. Walden and Viz, are you guys keeping your eyes out for anything in particular?
I'm just people watching, man.
Yeah, same. I'm going to keep my ear open to, coffee shops, usually places where people like to talk business because they're too cheap to own their own offices. So maybe I can overhear important business meetings happening.
This is Mithril, not the United States in 2020.
Well, I'm assuming it is the same spiel.
I think that's fair.
You guys are both sort of like listening into some of the conversations nearby, just trying to like gather whatever information you can. So let's see, Fal. Let's see if you find anybody. Okay. In this particular coffee shop, there does happen to be one of the locals nearby, who has. He doesn't have. It's not like he's got like a shield that's got like a falcon on it, or anything like that. But it's one of those things that you just kind of notice in the like the necklace and like bracelet and stuff like that, and the jewelry that this guy has on. There's a lot of like bird motifs, and you give him a second look and notice that like, though he's light of build, is probably jacked, and seems like maybe the person he's kind of sitting with, they're both of similar complexion, and sort of seem like they're people of the local area.
I walk over to them.
Yeah, I mean they're sitting at they're actually sitting at the table like right next to you guys. They're like those two locals that I talked about before.
Oh, okay, good. Then I just stand up, like turn my chair over, and I look at them and say, "Excuse me, are you by chance from the northeast, from Nathanga?"
They both look at each other, and he looks up at you, and does one of those things where he he takes you in, like looks at your complexion and what you look like and everything. It's like, why is it to you?
I have family there.
What name?
I turn my seat around, I sit down, sit straight up, and I tell them, "My name is Falyuan. I am son of Falukan. My grandfather is Faltanbo. I have come a long way to come home."
He smiles a little bit. I'm Yurik.
Yurik. Well met.
This is Aaron.
I breathe a sigh of relief. I tell him, it is the first time I have stepped land, and I do not know what to say. It is overwhelming. It is all that I expected, aside from more foreigners. But
he smiles at that. He's like, "You, son, are a foreigner."
I know. I was just about to say that as well.
Well, so what brings you here?
Years ago, my father had passed. I wish to pay homage and respect to him. So, I am hoping to go home, speak with more of your people, hopefully become one in honor of him. But I do not know the way.
The way's not hard. Basically, I mean, the way is easy to find, at least in the Thanga village. Perhaps the way to becoming one with our tribe is another challenge.
Is that so?
Take the road north of here, Riverlands Highway. It'll follow along the banks of the Ueshefeti. Once you make your way towards the foothills there of the Iron Mountains, you'll see the village. suggest you seek out the elders.
I plan to.
Ramokcha should be your first visit. His hut is on the north side of town, in the hills slightly. I don't know how the village will accept you.
I do not expect to be accepted. Not immediately.
Are you a proven man?
I hope to be so.
So you've run the
Do you have
gauntlet.
any word of... What was that?
He said, so you've run the gauntlet. He's like dead serious.
Whatever it takes.
So you haven't.
No. It is why I'm here.
Travel north, son. I wish you good luck.
I shake his hand and I bow to him and I say, Yurik, Aaron, thank you.
He takes a sip out of his drink, which you can see is much different looking than the fluffy drinks that you're drinking. You're like, oh, what's that gross looking black liquid? He stands up and he's really tall. He's probably like a good 6 inches taller than you or so.
Oh, so he's
And Falyuan's already pretty tall.
yeah.
He squares your shoulders and gives you a hug, then sits back down and returns to his drink and chatting with his friend, kind of one of those things where it almost seems like he embraces you kind of like a brother, but then just kind of turns a shoulder to you,
Yeah.
sort of leaving to your thing. Viz and Walden. So you guys hear some random conversation over, eavesdropped as Falyuan's kind of talking, and you guys are sort of making light conversation with one another. And there is this group of Frostline next to you guys, and throughout their talking, you find out that there seems like that there's another contingent of Frostline who are on their way here. And by what you gather, they should be arriving in about 10 days. And from what they're saying, it seems like they're going to triple their numbers in 10 days. And you're not really, I'm not sure if you're aware of how many people they have now, but it seems like they're going to have 3 times as many.
Doesn't sound good.
But it does seem like that there's talks of marching east and heading to this they're mounting an offensive on the city of Katura. So it seems like, from what you guys gather, even over this brief conversation, they seem to be talking very openly about it. That there's going to be some sort of a siege of this town coming up.
Well, that sucks.
And that they're probably waiting for reinforcements to get here before the whole army marches out. So otherwise, I'd say that's basically what you guys sort of gather during your trip to the coffee house. Anything else you guys want to do while you're there?
Kenny.
Yeah, so Kenny, we'll get back to you as the cat. Heading through, sort of strolling through all of the tents, sort of the mini tent city that's been set up on the east side of town, just outside the walls.
So the first thing I'm going to want to try to do is judge about how many are here.
You sort of stroll through and take a quick count, and you'd guess somewhere in the range of between, it's tough to count because you're a cat and you're not really sure. You can't get a huge overview of everything. It's just like at a
Yeah.
much smaller angle. But you'd count somewhere in the range of between like 100 and 150 men.
All right.
So it's not like
So
thousands
that's
upon thousands, but it's
no.
it's
But
pretty-
if I assume it's 150 here as a cat, I can assume it's probably 200 in the city, maybe 250 in the city. Right now, and that, you know,
and you're sort
That's-
of going around, and you notice that a lot of these
And
guys are soldiers,
Yeah.
and are not necessarily like militia or anything like that, but they also, it doesn't seem like right now that they're in war preparation. They're just sort of like camped because it seems like they've got some. It seems like these guys don't seem like they're going anywhere anytime soon.
well, I'm gonna head for the officer. What I assume to be the officers' tents.
Yeah, you find like a large tent that you're like, this is probably, officer's tent. So what do you do to remain inconspicuous as a cat when going inside the tent?
I'm gonna do a lap around it first
Mm-hmm.
and see if there's any way or any other than like the main flap to enter through first. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, give me
I'm
a
gonna
first.
think
Can you make me a
like
Chris? Or were you walking around the outside or the inside?
Yeah, the outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you find that there's a spot you can crawl under in the back.
All right. I'm gonna like pop my head through
Mm-hmm.
and see if there's like cover close by.
Sure. Yeah, you pop your head inside and you feel like, there's some crates and some other whatnot and stuff you can hide behind.
All right, I'm gonna head for there.
Yeah, why don't you make me a
And,
stealth
like-
check as a cat, just as you run through.
I don't know what cats get to their bones.
Just give me 1 second. I'll give you the.
I'll the fifth edition beasts cats.
I got you right here. Stealth is a +4.
Isn't that nice?
All right, 10. So you sneak up. You're kind of like, crouched behind some little debris and stuff, and you notice there's a discussion going on right now by a couple men in this room.
I'm gonna try to like be inconspicuous by like laying down on top of a crate maybe, or like
and just try to
not-
like still like a
Yeah,
cat.
like not directly in the line of sight, but like maybe like with one of my ears like leaned out a little bit.
All right. And you just sit and listen for a little while.
Yeah, just taking a nap.
Yeah.
Just a
So
cat taking a nap.
it's one of those things that like for the first like 15 minutes, it's just like bullshit conversation, and like just as you're about ready to leave, and like get up and walk away, you hear one of the officers say to the other, he's like, "All right, so let's get down to business," and you're like, "Oh." Okay.
I was like eyeing a mouse that was
Yeah,
like, running
you're like,
around
all right, man,
there.
I'm
I was
getting the
like,
fuck
oh,
out of here.
Business.
It's like, so, scouting missions. We need to survey the terrain before we get all these men here in a few days. So you've got a few choices of who we're going to send on this mission. They sort of like talk back and forth, and as a synopsis, you sort of find out that they're in short supply of people who are like sort of talented scouts or anything like that, and that they're going to be sending out a scouting mission in the day after tomorrow, and that they have an active recruiting out to find people who are like locals to sort of join and to go survey the situation around Katura. And that they're looking for like another 5 good men to join their ranks. And it seems like it's like there's going to be a group of 8 to 10 people or something like that head out, do some reconnaissance for about the next 10 days or so, and return back and give information once the new group of Frostline arrive, so that they can all be briefed and they can all really understand what's going on. And they sort of talk about that for a good like half hour, 45 minutes of just like what so and so thinks that these guys would be really good for the task, but these guys aren't so well suited for it, and that's why they need to like find some villagers and some other locals and stuff, or some sailors who have a little more cojones. And other than that, you do learn that inevitably they're going to be marching on Rubia, and that
do I get a time frame on that by any chance?
you get a similar information as to that in about 10 days the ships should be here, and that their first thing is to make siege on the city of Katura, and then
so assume a 10-day is a week, right, for
Yep.
us? So I assume it'll be a 10-day plus another half week before they get to sieging Rubia. So we have
Yep.
about 15 days. Meow.
One of them
Shoot.
as you meow, one of them like looks up and is like, oh it's
I'm
Cat.
like doing that thing that they stretch and they arch their back, and I like curl back up in the exact same spot, but like in a different.
One of the
form.
officers like approaches you, and sort of like gets down close and like scratches your head and stuff, and it's like, oh, good boy.
I'll respond like a normal cat would, like a friendly-ish cat.
Yeah, they seem to be cool, like having you around. But that's mainly the gist of the conversation. The conversation now wanes to, like creatures and stuff like that they miss at home, and like their families and like all sorts of things.
Where are these guys from?
They're from Kel, and it seems like both of them are from Bridgeport.
All right. At any time, before I feel like I'm going to turn back into Kenny, does everybody leave the officer's tent?
No, they stick around. It seems like they're kind of hanging out.
I'm gonna feel it out and feel like I've got like 15 minutes left,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna like dart out the back entrance and then like sprint like a cat towards the like bushes and pretend that I'm chasing something like a bug, and then get back into town, find an alleyway, and turn back into myself, shrouded.
All right.
And then make a circuitous route back to the Hounded Dragon.
So Viz, Fal, and Walden, do you guys do anything else after leaving the coffee house?
Yes, I still need to. Well, we need to get.
Decide that you guys got. What were the supplies for merchanting?
I was thinking might as well be a goodie. If they have, squid, right?
Squid.
Huh?
All right.
We know how to sell it.
Are you gonna salt it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys have a lot of salt last time?
We were able to find some.
I'll say you'll be able to find that now as well.
Yeah.
So salted squid. All right, Viz. How much in gold do you buy of salted squid to resell?
So should I roll to see if I got a good price, like per pound?
No. We'll you just give me a dollar figure, and I'll tell you how many crates you get.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I only really invest in like maybe 100 gold of salted squid.
Oh no, that's pretty good. All right, yeah. So you've got yourself like 10 good-sized crates of salted squid.
Okay.
But you don't have anything to transport it on. So
well, we are going to get horses, so...
Yeah, you have horses, but you'll need either a wagon or something along those lines to put it in. But you have the money for that if you...
We do.
If you wish to get a wagon for it. Is that what you want? Do you want to do that?
How big of a wagon would we need? Like a full cart? Like trading cart?
Like you can get a wagon for 35 gold.
Okay, yeah.
And it'll hold like 400 pounds, and you have about 100 pounds of squid.
That'd be worth it, just to have for storage and such too, for camp supplies. I'm also...
And instead of on the dog, we can put on the cart.
Yes, and since we don't have a dog anymore, but
and so for 50 gold pieces, this guy will sell you the cart, a mule that moves at the same speed as your horse, except he can't run like your horse.
right.
And he'll sell you like a bunch of feed and stuff like that you can throw in the back.
Okay, thank you.
Can I also get hay and some blankets while we're there?
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
I'm going to pick up basic provisions for the road while we're buying the squid.
Yeah, I'll say that you get you want it for like
30
10
trail
days or something like that.
rations.
30 trail rations.
We have 30 already.
Then we're probably good on trail rations.
Okay.
Probably. Especially since I'm going to probably do some hunting.
What is the
on
climate
this
here?
place we've never been.
It's sort of like you see the image in the top left corner?
He said the Caribbean.
Right. Okay.
So there are
So
probably
it's
some.
hot.
Are there like little monkeys around? Like capuchins or
no.
like the little spider monkeys? No.
No.
I'm going to get garb
Start, Joe.
for the region, like that is region appropriate,
Yeah, like region appropriate clothing.
and also that kind of blocks my face a little bit if I can, or like at least my ear tips.
Do the rest of you guys change any clothing at all, or kind of keep in the same get up?
No, I'm gonna do the same as Viz. That sounds like a great idea.
I like
Yeah.
What
On
is
my way back to the Hounded Dragon, I'm gonna buy,
So I buy a Bermuda shirt with like flowery patterns on them, a pair of
You said
shorts,
locals, man, locals.
Some loafers,
and I was thinking flip flops.
thong sandals. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. So Billy Bob, you guys, after you guys do some shopping and stuff, you catch Billy Bob coming out of the church, and he sort of walks with you guys back to the Hound and Dragon. And I imagine, Kenny, you're waiting sort of in the common room for everybody to kind of come in.
in my brand new garb. By the way, how much did I pay for my brand new garb?
I don't know, like, is it expensive looking, cheap looking?
It's good quality.
All
it's
right,
quality.
then you're paying 35 gold pieces for it.
35 gold pieces for some awesome clothes.
What can I get for like 15?
You can get something that's like pretty decent. Like, it's solid, like middle of the road, good like good quality thread.
And I can still have my armor on while I.
Yeah, it's like kind of like clothing that you'd be able to wear, except if you were wearing like heavy armor or anything like that.
Okay.
Since I don't wear armor, I too, like Kenny, am going to spend a little extra for nicer outfits.
Yeah, so for around 35 coin, you can get yourself like a really nice looking outfit.
I shall.
Really, is it good quality or great quality?
I don't know. Is there really much of a difference for you?
No, I'm just gonna put quality.
Whatever you like. You can put great.
What would
No,
you
just put good. I think if it's great, we gotta spend more than that.
Yeah, no, but what would we say, like, tropical climate clothes?
Sure.
Yeah, so you want like cotton and
Yeah, lightweight.
yeah.
So you guys make your way back to the Hound and Dragon. Meet up with Kenny, who's sort of sitting in the common room. Kenny, I imagine you're just, snacking on some braised shellfish, little apple pie on the side, glass of gin.
There's like probably 5 gold worth of food in front of me for my party when they get back.
Oh,
So
okay.
we
Then
all
there's
have
all
some
sorts
food
of
and
interesting
drink.
stuff. There's some roasted sausage. There's some roasted hare. There's like a couple different drinks in different kinds of glasses because that's how this place is. Just like tankards and little teeny glasses. There's a little cheese board. All sorts of stuff.
Ooh, charcuterie.
Yeah, so you guys should try this one. And I point to like this like truffle looking mushroom and it's like stuffed with salami. I'm like, it is fantastic.
I will try it.
This is
And I
not the
shall
sort that
too.
will make you see things and hallucinate like we did before, would it?
No, no, not those. These are like make you salivate and want more.
Oh,
Um,
gladly.
All right. So what would you guys like to do? you're sort of meeting up now in the tavern here.
Shall we all like take a tray and head to our room? I say, since the spread's all over the table.
Yeah.
Might as
I
well.
have some information.
I'd like to hear it. I still have to get some information, but
Well,
I don't think
I
I have to.
thought nighttime
It doesn't have
was
to be a
kinda
thing. Yeah, nighttime, definitely.
Well, here's what I found out. I'll like shove like an apple in my mouth and like tuck drinks under my arms and like ask the waitress to come and help us take stuff up to the room as we like take it all up to the room.
Yeah, they send a boy.
Oh, garçon.
Even they call me Garçon.
I give him a piece of silver. I'm like, here you go, buddy.
We don't have silver, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's
gold
no
and
such. It's only gold.
Give me coin.
It sucks. I'll give him a coin.
Nice.
Because I called him Garçon. So I found out that once the kid's gone, that we got about we need to be in that city in 12 days or less.
What city?
Rubia.
Oh, Rubia?
Yeah, or less.
Frostline's on the move.
Emphasis on less. Well, we've got 8 to 10 days until the reinforcements, which I assume they say it's about 3 times the number that they have here, and I assume that I counted a rough 150 in the camp, so it's got to be pushing 250 in the town probably. Does anybody 1,000 Frostline on a siege on a city?
Well, we recently heard that there's going to be about 3 times that many Frostline coming soon.
Coming in
3
from
times
Kel.
the amount that are here are coming from Kel.
So if they're about 250 here,
About 750, nearly 1,000
which
Frostline.
means 1,000 Frostline for
Almost.
sieging Rubia.
And then
so we're
some.
gonna need to get Rubia
Right quick.
And we
Hey,
should-
Jinx. Nice one, Joey.
you know how right quick we need to be.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
Vizardale.
I do.
So, did you find something to sell, Viz?
Yes, I bought about 100
What kind of salesman are we gonna be this time?
squid. Salted squid.
Huh.
It's what we know best. Come on, it's an old
actually, it isn't.
tried
We
and true.
sucked at it last time.
I did quite well with it.
Well, you sold it to you. I mean, because you sold more than half of our wares to the inn we were staying at. I mean, okay, salted squid. I hope you do better than we did last time. But that's
Just as
not
long
saying.
I bought about 100 gold. It's 100 gold for the squid, and then I spent about 50 gold on a mule and a cart. And
Great.
some blankets and some feed.
I'm gonna pass you 30 gold.
I took it out of the party loot, so
Oh well, I'll pull it back off the table.
yeah.
Kenny's like, well, in that case,
Yeah, no, keep it.
So here's what I was thinking.
Hmm.
If we can get the mule and the salted squid housed in a stable here for the next couple of days, we leave it and we go to Falyun's place, do what he needs to do, and then come back and grab it and head towards the city.
Towards Rubia?
Yeah.
Well, how long do you need in your home village? Or city? I don't know exactly what it is.
No. Nathenga is on the way to Rubia, guys.
Real quick, Tom,
Okay, so
I want to try the salted
take
squid.
it with us.
How does it taste compared to what we had before? The squid that we killed.
Well, it's Falyun cooked it last time, if I remember correctly. Poorly.
Oh yes, do we want to?
Bill sold it.
It's all right, Tom. In comparison,
Yeah,
it's about the
not
same.
bad.
Yeah, but I look at Walden and I tell him that Nathenga village is northeast of here, not too far away. And then from there, east-northeast is Keturah, which is apparently the city that was taken over. If we cross Keturah over the river, northeast of that is Rubia. So this is all on the way.
All right, so it sounds like we're
Okay.
taking off tomorrow morning towards your village with a
Yeah.
cart and 5 horses.
And it would behoove us to see what allies we have here. Besides the frost line.
Well, to be honest, it sounds like they would take 5 more good men to siege this, to scout out this village, or to scout out this, to scout in the next couple of days. It sounds like they're trying to get a group of scouts together. My thought was maybe we hit the scouts before they can return home.
That would be good.
That would throw a monkey wrench in their machine.
I would also like to
They
burn
how
their
many
ships
people to
down.
scout? They're looking for how many people to scout?
8 to 10. They're looking for 8 to 10, but I think they only have about 4.
We
They're
could
looking
sign
for-
up as their scouts and then kill the
As
other
their
4
scouts.
scouts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
And then come back with misinformation. With like, oh, Rubia's got millions of people.
Wouldn't help us. I think we need to be there before their reinforcements get back. Scouts or no. We could get paid to go up there. I just don't want to put our names on ledgers on the Frostline's books.
Well, we would
Although
make up
my-
different names.
Although my last name's all over the ledgers. I saw it.
Well,
So many flintlock arms.
Why don't we just do what we did last time? Viz can turn invisible and steal it.
I am good at that.
Steal what? Their ledgers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, why
no.
don't we just make up names? I'll be Steve. Who cares?
Okay, that's fine. Do you guys feel like doing that? We've got some squid to sell.
Well, yeah. Maybe we just stick with the plan. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Wait. Let us review this one more time. Who are we selling the squid to?
Honestly,
We're gonna try to
whoever.
bring it into Rubia.
Okay.
We're going
That's
to be
what I-
traveling merchants to get to Rubia. That was my thought.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was.
That was my plan as well.
But a second plan has been proposed as well.
Sounds like, well, we could sign up with the Frost Line and be their scouts, but I mean, it would get us to Rubia or the outskirts of Rubia.
But under the banner of the Frost Line, which would be not the best way to make diplomatic negotiations.
Who are we trying to make negotiations with?
Anyone we speak to, because we don't want to be associated with the Frost Line.
That's fair.
I would rather be with the rebellion.
Same. So I
we have
vote
options.
we still do the Squid Merchant route. I don't like this
Well-
idea of helping out, of even in subterfuge.
Helping
Trying
the
them.
Frost Line.
Yeah, because we can kill their scouts without having to become one of their scouts. We can just find
Well,
We're
them.
actually pretty proficient at killing their scouts.
We are. It's a speciality
mean-
of ours.
Ulfi was really good at putting arrows in them.
Yes, this
But-
Elfie
Oh,
sounded
okay.
quite amazing.
Where are you, my friend?
But at
What'd
the
you say,
same
Phil?
time, if we pose as their scouts, assuming they do not know who we are and not have identified us, then we would not have to deal with them if we encounter them.
Yeah, no, the idea is
While-
we would kill them if we were to encounter them anyway, so... Might as well just kill them.
Well, I mean,
Well,
we
they're-
could just,
what are they-
we could just,
Are they
We could
Frostland
just-
or are they like recruiting people to be scouts?
they're,
Sounds like
they're literally recruiting people to be
Well, they're
scouts.
recruiting locals, so we wouldn't kill
Yeah.
the locals, but we would
We
kill
wouldn't
any
kill the
Frostliners.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
how about we just leave the Frost Line be and try to get to Rubia in the next, say, 5 or 6 days. before the reinforcements get here, and before they even get here, and have a chance to set siege on the city.
Is there a way to disrupt their movements here, to maybe delay them a couple of days, burn their camp, maybe burn a couple of their ships that are in the docks right now, maybe?
I don't see that. See, here's the thing. How would that help them delay the ones that are already here?
No, because, any sort of
have any
infrastructure and supply line they would want to create. If we're burning their home base, they're going to have to rebuild before they're going to go on a campaign.
We need to get the fuck out of here quietly and with our mule cart full of salted squid.
Well,
and we need to head towards Falyuan's.
I think you're just
ancestral home
afraid
tomorrow morning.
of how cool it would be to shoot a fireball at their camp. I'm just saying.
This, I completely agree, but this is only half the problem. If the Kantaku take over Rueshe, that is no better.
So who are we helping here?
Caledorius. Remember?
Right, but in the local political climate.
No one. Fuck them all.
Well then, us. We'll get the device, we'll leave with our mule, we'll show up in Rubia. Do we know the way to Rubia?
Yes.
Do we know how long it takes to get there?
Not exactly.
Do we have an estimate?
No.
Fair.
No.
So maybe we figure that out. Maybe we get a map of the local area.
Honesty, Bell. Nope.
That sounds great. On the way out tomorrow morning,
Yes.
we should get a map of the local area.
At least the
All right,
island.
well, so that sounds like a good synopsis. Why don't we take 5 real quick?
Yes.
We can go to the restroom, grab a beverage, grab a snack, and then we'll meet back up for the what happens in the morning and sort of move ourselves into the future.
I like
I'm gonna
it.
switch up the music a little bit. Put on the Elven Glade. Love the Elven Glade. All right.
All right. BRB.
Burb.
Viz.
We're back in the quest hook. Let's check on things.
Hello, Mr. GM.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you? I'm doing meow-tastic tonight, thanks.
Meowtastic?
You know it.
Well, you enjoying being the kitty cat? Kenny cat?
I'm a cool candy cat.
Cool little Kenny cat. Mm-hmm. All right, we will go back to...
It's a French baguette with some, just some Kerrygold butter on it.
That
So
sounds
good.
tasty.
Joe, what do you look at this?
Oh, French baguette.
French
Oh,
baguette, except
please.
I have a little bit of roasted garlic and olive oil
Ah,
that I'm eating it with. Look at that. Snack of gods. Baguette
remember-
bros. And there's
you
like
remember
a
when we drove across the south of Florida, leaving Tim Anstead's house, and we just got a Panera. We got 2 French baguettes from Panera Bread and ate them all the way across
that was so great.
Florida.
I don't remember that. Was that with me?
Yep,
It was
that was when we went to your parents' house, and then
with the
Mark
winkle.
pressed the button.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember
Marked
that
it.
part. I just don't remember the baguette part.
Yeah, there were a lot of baguettes had on that trip.
My bad.
Many baguettes were had.
Baguettes are fucking tasty.
It's
I
depressing.
checked it out briefly. I was like, oh, fuck this. There's nobody here. All right, but let's get back to the D&D at hand. Are you guys ready to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah, Joe. All right, so it seems like you guys pretty much have a heading. You guys came to a consensus, right?
Yeah.
Seems like we're leaving in the morning. Walden needs to get any information he can tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't have to role play or nothing.
Feluman did that. So Walden, what kind of information are you looking to get? What do you? What's your goals?
Well, I just want to see like our safest way to Rubio.
Mhm.
Is it Rubia or Rubio?
Rubia
Rubia.
with an A.
I want to see our safest way to Rubia, and I want to see, like, under the guise of merch, like, where are the merchants? If a merchant was trying to get through, how would they get there?
Okay. So that's some pretty easy information that you're able to gather from your local contact now.
Okay.
So he tells you that most traders that are coming from Yukozi, there's 2 different routes that they take, but normally they're going to go the south route, and that they're going to take the Falcon Road to the Shield Road. And those are 2 sort of like highways. more or less.
Falcon Road to Shield.
Yeah, to the Shield Road. It'll take you through the city of Mayaguez.
Okay.
And basically that's like the sort of the safer route.
Okay.
The route that's a little bit quicker is that you head north on the Riverlands Highway, and it takes you through like up into the mountains or into like the kind of like the foothills of the mountains, through a bunch of like coffee growing country, through this little teeny village called Nathanga Village.
Okay.
And then once you pass through there, you eventually link up with the Katura Road and take that sort of east towards Katura.
What makes that route more dangerous?
It's because you go through the Nathanga River Valley. It's one of those things. It's a very remote area, so there can be more like highwaymen and stuff like that on the Riverlands Highway.
On the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Highwaymen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Watch
I also
out
wanna
for those
steal that
Chris
legend.
Christophersons.
So that's the only thing, and that the other roads are just like are slightly safer,
Okay.
and more so that you can like you'd be able to see people coming from a long distance away. Where when you go up through the Riverlands, it's like lots of twists and turns. It's very like hilly and stuff, and there's lots of tree cover and everything. So it's just a little bit more. You're kind of like going through the woods.
I like the woods.
So one is more of
Values.
they're both treks through the country. One is just more of like open plains and stuff, and one is more like kind of going into the forest.
Right. Okay. And what kind of supply? Is there anything special I should know about taking the North Road, the highway, the Riverside Highway?
No, only that it's a quite the coffee trading route, and that you should keep yourself kind of well armed.
Did they like squid up there?
Well, they don't get a lot of it.
All right.
You also learn. Let's see. Anyone know how far your horse travels in a day? About 30 miles, maybe.
That website, Tom, has that. I think it's
okay.
on the DM screen. Maybe.
I'm just gonna Google it real quick. Sorry to take up some time.
Travel at sea. Travel pace.
Yeah, you got something?
We also have a mule, so
I think this is
Mule goes as fast as the horse, though.
oh, okay.
I think this is
Not running, but
human, not horse. Hold on. That is not what I wanted.
Okay, so in 1 hour, you can move the number of miles equal to your speed divided by 10. You guys have, let's say, what's your horse's speed? Probably 40.
On horse.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that which is like 30 feet in general. Okay. So then, let me look at this. It'll take you guys about 2 days to get to Nathanga Village, and it would probably take you about it's probably going to take you about like 10 days to get to Rubia.
From Nathanga or from where we are?
From where you are. And depending on the rate of travel, maybe even from Nathanga, depending on what happens once you get to Katora and stuff.
Okay. So that lines up.
So Walden, that's what you sort of gather.
Okay.
Were there any other things you were looking to get from your contact?
I just need some pistol ammo, I think. Not a ton.
He'll sell it to you on the cheap. Because you're part of the gang.
Okay. I just need 25 or so.
Yeah, so he'll sell it to you at half price.
So how much?
I'm gonna look it up.
Oops. Sorry.
What kind of bullets does it take?
Just it's like a handgun, revolver, pistol bullets.
Okay. Ammunition, firearms. Bullets. How many do you need?
I'll just take how do they come?
In packs of 10.
So I'll take 4 packs.
Okay. He'll sell it to you for 5 gold.
Wow. Done deal.
Alrighty. So you guys
want?
you guys are going to return. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you guys want me to steal that ledger, or does that matter, or do we just go? Okay. I'm just gonna. What I'm gonna do is go up to whoever's at the front desk and be like, "Excuse me, somebody puked in our communal bath. It's disgusting. Can you go clean it? Can you go check it out? I think this guy needs to be."
Sure. Make me a deception check.
I would love to make you a deception check, Thomas.
Please do.
Mm-hmm. 14.
She sighs. It's like, sorry.
Well, I would like it if you please took care of it personally. This is a fancy establishment, and there's puke, there's chunks everywhere. It's disgusting.
She's like, we'll make sure it's taken care of. She heads off to a back room to seemingly go get somebody. Leaving you, there's some people around, but nobody standing behind the desk.
I guess I should. I'm gonna lean over, like I'm looking at something. Over the desk.
Just make me a sleight of hand check to do a little whoop, whoop, whoop.
17.
You reach across just borrowing a pen. Pull the page out while you rip a loud fart or something like that, and just hold it up and put it in your pocket.
Perfect.
No one the wiser.
I'm gonna head back to my friends and go to sleep. Hi, friends.
She comes back as you're leaving. She's like, again. I'm sorry about the chunks.
Pretty disgusting, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
As you hurry upstairs, you're like, somebody puke, hurry up. So you head back to your friends, having successfully stolen the ledger, or at least the page that you're looking for out of the ledger.
Right.
Cast it into the fire.
Yeah, would you like to keep it?
Well, I'm just gonna see if there's any noticeable names on it, and then
Oh, sure.
cast it into the fire.
Yeah. So you're gonna look through it and see if there's any notable names.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think if you would know any of these names. Why don't you roll me a history check
I would love to.
to see if you know any of the names?
It's like, oh shit, Gozen's there.
Right.
Okay. Wowee!
Wowee.
I just
All right.
wasted a perfect roll.
I don't know if you wasted a perfect roll. So there is a name that you notice on here that is one of those things where you're like, oh, like that's sort of like just a weird kind of coincidence, if you will. So you see the name Penfield Bertram on there.
Ooh, that's the Frostline's guy, right?
And you're like, wasn't that the guy who was like riding a dragon, like
Trying to
fucking
kill us.
kill people, raising demons? And you're just like, that's a weird name. He's in room 7.
Oh my god. The night just took an interesting turn, my friends.
So you go upstairs, glancing at this piece of paper, and walk into your room where your friends are. Passing room 7. So yeah, I'll let you go. Go ahead. What would you guys like to do? Go ahead.
Am I dressed like a local right now? Because I did buy that clothes. I mean, would he recognize me, you think?
He did try to kill us.
I just don't remember.
Although, from afar.
We were really far away.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't met him personally.
I'm going to knock on the door.
All right, and I would say also you're only kind of sure what he looks like because you only saw him from a distance too, right?
Right, yeah.
So a moment or two passes, and you hear a voice from beyond the door. Yes.
Hi, my name is Gordon Rambleton, and I am with the inn. I'm our customer service representative. I just want to make sure that everything is up
Make a
to
deception
par.
check.
Yes, I would like to do that. Let's see how I do. Oh, 9. Ooh.
Arnold said there'd be no interruptions. Leave.
I'm very sorry to bother you, sir. Have a great night and enjoy the stay here at the. What is this place called?
That's exactly what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, enjoy your stay at the. Oh, what's this place called? You like under your breath. You're like, what's this place called? And it's the Hound and Dragon.
The Hound and Dragon.
You hear like
Be careful.
some cursing and mumbling behind the door, and like boots stomping away.
Don't get caught up in any hounds or dragons. Get out of there. Go back to the room.
All right.
Well,
So your friends are sitting around. I imagine Kenny's just his eyes are totally bloodshot. He's like, the pipeweed. The pipeweed.
Well, guys, I got that ledger page, and some very interesting information is on there.
Oh, good.
Well, do you remember when we were up in Stormtop, and a man was riding a dragon? He was sort of like shooting flames and stuff at us.
That hard.
Oh, okay. So you do remember. That guy's name is Penfield Bertram, and he is staying in room 7 of this establishment. Wow, Fez, you've got a wow. Well, I was hoping to check out what's going on in his room, maybe get some information, but you want to murder him.
As much as I would like to dispose of him, I would like to avoid another demon and a dragon and
Yeah, I
the
think we need to
150
pump the brakes
frost.
on trying to kill this guy in a hotel.
Viz.
But
Well,
if that guy's around,
as
that
the sort
may
of
mean that one
murderous
of
one
his
here. What's
that
that?
his dragon's around, maybe.
Well, I don't know. It's probably staying. Did you see him around when you were
No,
scootling around camp?
no, I didn't see any trace of a dragon.
Well, I mean, the last time we saw this dragon, he died. I don't think he would be coming from land or sea.
You assume that this guy jumped on one of these ships and rode out a storm top? Well, yeah.
I am merely saying I do not think this dragon would merely be lingering around on land. What? What are you talking about?
Tommy, is there windows in this room? There are
Yeah.
windows, right? And we're on the same
Yeah,
floor as this guy.
Yeah.
I jumped out of
I'm
one
gonna-
before.
I'm gonna go look out the window and look down. Like, is it accessible or what? What am I looking at?
You potentially could like hang on the eaves and like shimmy your way over and try to go inside those windows. They're closed at the moment, but
On the eaves.
you could drop some eaves if you would.
Wow.
Bit late to be trimming the shrubbery.
I ain't dropping no eaves, sir. I promise.
Anyway,
Don't
Walden,
turn me
I
into
think
nothing
you should
unnatural.
totally drop some eaves, Walden. Maybe somebody could make you invisible, and that's wow. Cast.
Well, I was hoping that somebody maybe can we get him out of the room somehow? Can somebody create a distraction or something? Well, I looked at Kenny when I said that.
How? What? I mean, does he?
I go into the bedroom and shut the door.
Yeah, I'm also with Val. I don't think we should try to attack this man. I think getting him out of getting him out of the room might be a good idea and seeing what's in there, but I don't want to risk. I don't.
Oh, what about like
I
a
don't
little
wanna risk
mouse and you could be squeaking in his walls and he gets all pissed and he goes down and talks to management.
Or I could like maybe become a mouse and like see what's in his room, but I mean,
Oh,
if
that's
he
true.
was riding a dragon, he might be able to sense the magic. And that might be dangerous for all of us.
Tommy, what floor are we on?
Third.
And out of how many?
3.
Okay, is the roof accessible?
Yeah. You'd be able to, from where you are, you'd be able to like feasibly. I mean, it's gonna take some skill, obviously. You'd be able to go out on the ledge outside your window and like just do like a little jump and grab the like the gutter and like pull yourself up to the roof if you wanted to, or
Acrobatics, huh?
something along those lines. Yeah.
Be right back, guys. I have no plan. Let's do this.
All right, so Walton, you're going out the window.
Yep.
All right. Why don't you make me a stealth check? Because I imagine you're trying to be sneaky about this. Unless you're not.
No, yeah.
Unless you just you kick the window out and you're like, yeah.
And since I wear boots of elven kind, I get advantage. So 15.
All right.
I rolled a 19 to jump up.
All right, and a 19 to jump up. All right, yeah. So you're pretty quiet. There's a little bit of a thud. But nothing that couldn't have been the wind. So are you getting onto the roof?
Yeah.
All right. So you basically open the window, you kind of shimmy out and just jump backwards and grab up and then pull yourself up to the roof. You're keeping a low profile.
And I'm going to be I'm just going to stick my head down and be like, Viz, knock on the door in 2 minutes.
Are you going to cast invisibility? Okay. Alrighty. And so, Walden, what are you up to?
I'm going to walk over to where I think his window is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to wait till I hear a knock.
Alright, so you're going to wait the 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you wait. Viz, you are invisible. I imagine you sneak yourself out into the hallway.
I will go to the door and open the door for Viz.
Viz, can you make me a stealth check with advantage?
And poke my head out of the door.
He's making it look like the door is an opening on its own.
All right. So you make your way out into the hall. You're invisible.
I'll shut the
roughly
door.
2 minutes has gone by.
Bing bong.
You're gonna be shaving a haircut to the evil dragon riding wizard.
So casting doesn't break. Okay. Just wanted to double check that. All right. So yeah, you knock on the door. And you hear an angry voice behind. That's I told you not to bother me. And you don't hear anything else at the moment. All right. You hear I'm gonna first, and you hear some boots marching up to the door. You hear several locks being thrown across, and the door flies open. And you see this kind of tallish human. He's totally bald. He's probably about 6'2" or so. He's decently built. You can see all over his face and head and stuff. He's got lots of scars. And otherwise, he would be a relatively decent looking guy if he wasn't completely bald and kind of covered in scars. And he looks up and down the hallway. His eyes pass over you, and you think that he looks right. Walden, what are you doing?
I'm going to crawl down and look into the window, see what I see.
All right, you can see he's unlocking the door and stuff. And
Is he,
looks
what
like he's
else
alone in the room.
What else? What else is in the room? Anything of note?
So there's like a desk that he's got all sorts of correspondence and stuff like that laid out on. He's got like a chest and there's like a wardrobe that's got a bunch of clothes and stuff like that. Looks like
Anything
there's
on the desk like semi-reachable from my hands?
yeah, several things. You want to just grab something?
Yeah, if I can silently open the window. I don't know if it's open or closed.
All right. So why don't you roll me a dexterity check to open the window? All right. So as he like slams the door open, you lift the window up just a little bit, so that he like can't hear it. And you see him like look out into the hallway. Viz, as you like sort of like make the eyebrow and stuff at him, you realize there's no way he can see. You're like it's a spell. But you feel like maybe he could hear something out in the hallway or something like that. Walden, there's several objects on the table. I imagine that you can see it because it's right by the window, kind of. So there is there's a coin purse. There's like like a writing implement and like several documents. There's a it's about let me see, hold on, I've got one around here. And there is a book like this on the table as well. Other than that, there's like a jug of wine and like a glass and like some food and stuff.
So wait, so I choose one thing?
Yeah, basically you can feel like you can grab something.
Book.
All right. You grab that leather bound book, and you see he's about to like slam the door. And
can I close the window?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a stealth check to close the window. You don't have to make a dex because it's already open, unlatched. So, all right. So you close the window as he's closing the door, and sort of, just as you see him like throw the latches and like spin around to walk back to the desk, you're out of sight.
Yes.
So you make your way back. Do you make your way back?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go in our window. I'm not gonna go in our,
All right, so you go back in the window. Viz, do you go back inside as well?
Gonna cheat hands.
Okay. All right, so there's like a little sound that goes off, Walden, as you slip back inside.
Ooh, what the hell was that?
You hear footsteps next door. And you hear like some angry voice next door.
I'm gonna start yelling and complaining about the noise and the banging. I'm gonna like stick my head out into the hallway.
You hear the door next door open, and Kenny, you see this guy. He's like right next door to you, just as I described before to Viz. This huge guy, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's looking like he's like pissed at you.
At me?
Yeah.
Sir, I don't know what you're speaking of. I just heard loud banging and then a what seemed to be a firecracker. This is
Why don't
silly.
you make me a deception check?
I mean, I should
no.
go.
Oh, come on, Kenny. Make me a deception check.
No, I'm totally good for making a deception check. I was just saying I'm gonna go to the management about this.
All right. Let's see.
It's not horrible. It's not.
All right. So So, he
That's
glares
awesome,
at
John.
you, and he's like, "I don't know what you and your friends are fucking up to over here, but knock it out, or I'm gonna have my men come up and slaughter the lot of you." And he like turns around and just slams his door. And you hear like again like the latches being thrown, and you hear like a "God damn it!" and like he walks. You hear like the footsteps across the room, and then you hear a bunch of things being thrown. And you can tell he's like tearing the room apart, and you don't know.
I'm gonna close and lock our door and turn to the what I assume is now Falyuan standing in the doorway of the like bedroom that he went to sleep in, and Walden standing in the window holding a book, and Viz standing next to the mantelpiece looking sheepish, like, wasn't me. And I'm gonna be like, we need to leave tonight. No.
We're leaving tonight. I did not come this far just to die.
Yeah.
Wait, but what's in this book?
Read it on the road, Walden. Read it on the saddle. Let's go. And with that, we're packing our things and leaving on the hour. After dinner. Because we already paid.
Dinner.
Because we already paid for the meal.
Did pay for
Of course,
dinner.
of course.
All right,
So-
so you guys go down for dinner a little while later, and the conversation overheard at dinner is Penfield's pissed. Apparently he lost it. Apparently he lost his journal, and it's like all of the Frostline guys are like, dude, he's gonna lose his fucking shit. Like they're like the tensions are so high. They're like, he's gonna murder half of us like right now. Well, it's like you took Darth Vader's security blanket, and he's like, give me it back. Exactly.
Right. So, like I said, leaving tonight was what we're doing now. We'll travel.
So the
all
meal's
night
good,
long and-
but fraught with a little bit of tension from the other people who are having a hard time. Just or less pushing the rabbit stew around in their bowl and not really eating. Just not hungry. But you guys are like, delish. More cornbread,
Time for a night
please.
out on the town, gentlemen, I say as I head towards the door after finishing the last bite of stew, having already brought all of my stuff down and put it in our wagon.
All right.
Shall we carouse?
Yeah, let's head out.
All right. So you guys are gonna head out.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's the best course of action.
All right. So yeah, you guys have packed you bring all your things down and stuff. And as you're sort of pulling away after packing your wagon, getting on your horses and or sort of walking your horses, I guess at this point, towards the edge of town. You can hear officers yelling at soldiers, being like, I don't know, but go back to the camps and fucking look. I think he was there earlier today. Like there's pandemonium starting to go on.
I'm gonna dive in the wagon real quick and quickly change it to our merchant garbs.
Well, I'm already in my Bahama garb, so
Yeah, here.
feeling nice and comfortable. Thank you for my pony.
So you guys lead your horses to the north edge of town, where let me just go to the map that we're on.
Oh, we decided to take the dangerous road through.
Yeah.
Just making
you
sure.
guys
Just
Make
making
your
sure.
way here to the north gates of town.
Yeah.
And when you guys get there, you notice that the gates are closed. There are two what look like local guards, along with line guards, who are standing at the and the gate's currently closed. And basically, as you guys are coming up, One of the guards, throws a hand up and walks up towards you guys. Evening.
Hello.
Not bad. Yourselves?
Not too bad.
Late time to be leaving. Road north ain't safe.
Gotta set up our stalls in the morning.
Why don't you guys just make me a deception check there, Viz?
Sorry, gnome sneeze.
Oh yeah, you crush his passive insight. He's like, all right then, sounds good. Open it up. And one of the Frostline guys goes over with the other local, and they start like turning this big crank together. And like the gates sort of draw upwards, and the other Frostline guy takes the big piece of wood off the doors and like pushes them out for you guys to go out northward into the night.
I'm gonna be driving the cart. I'll walk the pony I have next to the cart, but I'll be the one driving the cart if anybody has a objection.
All right, so you guys are going to head out north on the Riverlands Highway, and let's see. I think
I breathe a huge sigh of fucking relief.
Fal, can you roll me? Actually, no. How about this? Walden, can you roll me a luck roll, please, if you're around?
I'm around. What is it?
Yeah, just roll me a d20.
Just
It's a straight up luck roll.
16.
Okay, so as you get onto the road, the first thing you do is start leafing. Just like you untie this book, and you just start to leaf through it a little bit. And the first thing that falls out is a map. It's like folded, and you like sort of unfold it.
Okay.
And it's a map of the Isles of Verdune. Something that you think would be quite helpful in planning and plotting where you need to go. It's dark right now, so you're really kind of unable to see any really specific details on it. But you can sort of make out, you're squinting at it and stuff, and you can make out that there's some markings that have been placed on it for places they need to go and where they're going to set up like supply line, like camp lines and supply lines and stuff.
Got it.
So overall, that's going to be definitely very helpful. But you feel like you're going to have to kind of study this book once you can get some time to sit and read in the daylight.
For sure. I'll make an insight check at some point.
So how far, so what's your guys' plan? It is just after dinner, so it is like probably close to 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there, that you guys are out on the road. You're headed north on this highway. What are your guys' plans? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I was gonna say 4. I said, but I was muted. 4 hours, and then we'll make camp.
Okay. And where are you guys gonna make camp? So you're traveling along like a regular dirt road at the moment.
I'll probably, after 3.5 hours of travel, I'll probably have them pause on the road, and I'll go off and try to find something maybe 100 or 200 yards off the road.
All right, why don't you make me a survival check real quick, Kenny, to find us a suitable place to camp.
Do that at a +6.
Let me
18.
change our music a little bit. 18. All right, so you're definitely able to find...
So I find like a little... What kind of forest would it be? Or like what kind of thicket would I find?
Um,
Grove, little thicket or grove, like.
so I imagine that you're able to find sort of like a. You guys have gotten your ways into there's some trees and stuff like that on either side of the road. So you said you head sort of towards the river a little bit, and you're able to find a large grouping of trees that in the center of there's sort of like a clearing, which you think is the trees and the shrubs around should cover any sign of your fire or anything like that. And you think it's a pretty safe place to camp. You can also hide your horses and all of your gear and stuff like that on the far side.
So I'll go back to the party and let them know and pull them out there, and take an hour or
Alright.
two to set up camp, and then
So you guys make for camp and
I
sort of set
suggest-
everything up.
I suggest that we take a normal rest, take a full long rest, and then, just tomorrow travel during the day as much as possible. It'll be a short day of travel, and then we'll, if we have to, we'll rest in the woods one more time.
That is a good idea.
All right, so you guys are going to camp through the night. So basically, there's just going to be a couple watches. I think the easiest way to do it, and we'll just sort of do it this way from now on, just to sort of make things easier, is that like everybody needs, I know elves only need 4 hours, but generally everybody needs about 8 hours of rest. So the way it works best is that you guys essentially stop for 12 hours and you travel for 12 hours. And that encompasses rests or anything else like that. And then gives it time for you guys to each have like 3 watches a night.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody gets a chance to rest and everything like that as well. And then there's time for downtime of you guys reading, hunting, doing any of these other things during the day that your characters might do when you're not actually just sitting on horseback.
Okay.
Unless you guys just want to travel, where it's like you sleep for 8 hours, there's like no real watches or anything like that. You wake up, you get back in the saddle, and you ride. So it's entirely up to you guys. You can go a little bit further if you just ride, but you'll be a little bit more exposed because you won't be able to take watches and stuff.
I think for the first night at least, taking the 12 hours rest from now, which I assume it's about midnight anyway, if we left after dinner and we travel for yeah. But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
if we can rest until midday tomorrow, that's fine, and then travel for 8 hours and then take a quick rest
Yeah.
if we have to.
So
Sounds good.
you guys take camp. We're just gonna set 3 watches. There's 5 of you, so just determine if you guys want. Just like give me a who's gonna be the first watch, who's
I'll
gonna
take
be in
the
the second
last.
watch, and who's
I'll
gonna be
take
in
first.
the third watch. The most.
And I guess
the most
I'll just sleep.
Did you say the most inconvenient?
Yeah.
Like for everybody else, or the most?
Second.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
second.
Sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time. I just thought that was a funny way to say it. the one, yeah, exactly. The one that's the most difficult for anybody is the one I want. Okay.
And I guess I'll just look at this journal and stuff since I don't have a watch.
All right. So you're gonna check out the journal and like in your free time and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'll sleep for 8 hours, and then for 4 hours, I'll use an investigation check and see what I find.
Okay.
Wow, that's gonna be awesome. You're gonna be able to read his whole journal, probably, and maybe
Okay.
decipher any codes. You thievery bastard!
So
You.
You guys spend the evening. The first watch. Who's on first watch again?
Me.
All right. The first watch is really peaceful.
Whew.
There's a nice fire going. You're able to take a trip down to the river. It's one of those things, Fel, where you're just like happy to be back. You know, you feel like this is like a nice introduction into like being here. Like even though you had to like leave town and stuff like that, you're
Yeah.
sort of happier to be out under the stars here than actually like staying in town.
Yeah, this is the nicest part of my day so far.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everyone's asleep. It's quiet. It's peaceful. It's just like the background music right now. It's just like nice and calm. The second watch gets us through daybreak. And who's on second watch? Viz, anybody else joining you on second watch?
I mean, I would be awake at daybreak, but
Okay.
I wouldn't get full rest, so I'm not gonna awake at daybreak. I will do my ritual later today,
Okay.
so I'm
So
fully
Viz,
rested.
About 3/4 of the way through your watch, so that would be after 3 hours of watch. The sun has just come up, and I'm gonna have you make me an active perception check, because your passive perception alerts you to the fact that you hear some like rustling / like twigs breaking. Yeah, you took the first. You rested on the first watch, right? Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah. Ooh, nice. Um. So, but Kenny and Billy Bob have not yet completed their rests. 20. Okay, so you can distinctly hear they sound like footsteps in the woods. To the north of where you are, where your position is right now. And you can even hear some hushed talking. Sounds like comedy. Sounds like, it's like a hey. Yeah, relatively. I mean, close enough that you can hear the steps and hear some of the voices and stuff. Okay. Um. So you send Terry up. I don't know if you gave him any instructions or anything like that. All right. So go ahead and make me a stealth check as you creep through the woods. You can do that with advantage because you're invisible. Ooh, good thing. Yeah. 21. All right. So you start moving towards the voices. They're getting louder. And now they're sort of a few of these figures are coming into view. And you see that there's several people. They look like humanoids, so it could be humans, elves, anything along those lines. They're all sort of dressed in dark clothing. You can see that they have weapons that are currently being brandished. Looks like they've got a couple of them have crossbows, and a few of them have scimitars. And you can see that they're sort of creeping up on the camp. If you were to call them anything, you would call them bandits. From your quick count, on the north side, which is the side you're sneaking to, you count 4 of them. Those are the ones you see on the north side. You're unsure though if there's ones on the south side. Like it's one of those things where your attention is focused somewhere else at the moment. They're fanned out a little bit as to potentially, surround, surround somebody. No, probably not. All right, let me hold on. Can you make me an intimidation check?
Don't forget portents.
Okay, the four of them all start to run. They're just like immediately they're like, "Fuck this!" And they just like start hightailing it. You can hear some sounds on the south end of camp, uh, that are like, "Oh, what's going on?" So far none of your companions have woken up or anything like that. Um, yeah. You can see the four hightailing it into the forest. They don't look like they're looking back. All right. And go ahead and make me another intimidation check against. There's a group of guys. You're not really sure. You can't really see how many are there, but all right. Again, you hear like some screams and shouts as it's like like, and there's a bunch of rustling and stuff in the forest. As you scare the other bits of these bandits off as well. With basically without waking anybody up. Yeah. If anybody wants to, you can roll me a check, like a Constitution check, to see if you wake up. But you don't have to if you don't want to. You can stay asleep if you want to.
I'm getting my 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So Viz, you sort of, keep you're on edge for the last hour or so, and then you hear everybody like yawning and you hear Kenny starting to
I walk up to you like all like ready for the morning, drinking a or like mid morning drinking a coffee, like armored up. I like slap you on the thigh. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for watch, buddy.
Yeah, it's
almost sweating. He's like almost sweating. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I've got 8 hours worth of watch.
He only needs 4.
Yeah. Good to. Oh. Viz says he saw bandits, you guys. Bandits. Oh yeah, your bird who, seems to, believe everything that you say. Not ragging on you. I totally believe you. I will be alert on my on
your
my
watch.
watch. Yeah. In
Okay,
fact,
so
since
during
Fal Yuan has
the
rested,
third
I will
watch-
ask him to join me on my watch.
Okay.
You've rested, right?
Yeah.
Well, then we can, we can pack up everything that we don't need
Wait,
so
who
we
took
can
first
travel.
watch?
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry, I
No,
thought.
Fayou needs to keep sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh,
Walden's awake,
Walden.
but he's reading his book, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
he's
gonna
got
check
4
this
hours.
out, man.
He's got
Hey,
4
good
hours
luck
to
with that
read.
watch.
Billy Bob,
Yeah.
pay
Go get
attention
him.
to the north.
Billy Bob's like, gotcha, bud.
All right. Any sign of anything, Karoo Karee, all right? Karoo Karee. And Walden, if you hear a Karoo Karee, come run into Billy Bob or me with pistols blaring. Billy
got it,
Bob's
man.
north, I'm south.
All right, so Kenny, during the third watch,
Third watch.
things are
It's
yeah, that's
good.
pretty sweet. Things are relatively quiet. And then after about 2 hours or so, you hear some rustling up in the branches above to the east. Enough that you feel like you're like, something's making some racket. And it's like
Something's in the
hopping from
trees.
tree to tree or something along those lines.
Huh. I'll pay attention to it. I'll pull out my
All right.
spyglass
Yeah,
and
make
see
me
if
a
I can spot
perception
something.
check.
Okay. May I do it with advantage because I pulled out
Sure,
my
you
spyglass?
can do it with advantage.
I mean, it is something that we did get. It's a smart item. Perception, I believe, is +6. Yeah.
All right,
It's
16.
16.
All right, so scanning the limbs where you think that you saw some commotion or heard some sound, you spot a small bird, and the bird sort of in it's one of those things where you like seeing it through this spyglass, sort of like up in the tree, and it sort of does the bird thing, where it's like twitching its head back and forth, sort of like looking around. And then it like turns and like looks directly at like the spyglass, and looks at you, and then flies down off the branch like directly at you.
Oh, shit.
And it pulls up short and like lands on the edge of your spyglass. It tweets a couple times at you, and then begins to speak in Caledorius's voice. Your bird is returned.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So you hear from the beyond, you hear the voice
Hold
of
on.
Caledorius.
Oh.
Because he can. I think that's the way the bird works, right? He can basically
Yeah.
like send a message through it.
Uh-huh.
It's like so. Basically, what you gather, you hear Caledorius is, Kenny. It's been a long time. Surprised at the wonderful bird that you've sent. It's pretty interesting, actually. I wish to study it for a time, but I feel that's gonna have to wait. Kel's different. We've studied the Davari, and I know a lot more than I used to. And I think we might have a chance of taking Barian on head-to-head. But you see, he's taking control of the entire nation. The Frostline armies have moved back and forth, going from city to city, town to town, recruiting here and there, capturing what they can. There's pockets of resistance, but not much can be done in the face of kind of creatures that they're using. Half-men, wolf-men, orcs, mages, all sorts. People are starting to be exposed to things they've never seen before, and they're not really sure what to do, so they sort of just get in line. I'm not sure how things are coming with you. I hope that your journey for the Emerald's going quickly. Unfortunately, Quinn and Merrick have failed. They couldn't obtain the topaz. And Zafir, it seems, is in league with Barian. In addition to whatever's left of the Circle of Three, and his Cerulean gang. There's fights on every front, Kenny. So we're hoping that Quinn and Merrick are headed up to Mathigan's Rest, try to obtain what they can of the amethyst there. Hopefully that should go well. If we can get 3 of these Davari, I think we have a chance. Report back to me when you can. I'll be waiting here at Ilrasolunari. When you're ready, I'll send magical travel for you. And at that, the bird returns to tweeting.
Oh no, it becomes a feather, and I stick it in my cap.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's what
he's
it
not.
is.
He's not it's it goes from voice to being beep 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 beep.
Oh,
And yes, it will become
and
a feather and go back. Into
I'll pluck it off the end and stick it into my random ear.
Yeah, imagine as you basically grab for one of its feathers and it just poofs into into nothingness, and you just
into one feather. I'm like,
yeah. There's
All
little
right.
puff of a little puff of dust. Or if you want it to be more gruesome, there's a puff of feathers, and feathers go everywhere. It's
it is
you
feathers.
just, have
It is
one
feathers, but they're phantom feathers. It's like they turn into fairy pixie dust.
You
and
know,
float away.
in the what's it called? The Bard's Tale games, where you can do the stuff blow up the chickens or whatever it is, or throw the chickens or whatever. It's like that.
All right. So when everybody's awake, I will summarize what I got from.
After a couple hours, everybody wakes up.
So
Walden also gleaned some info during his 4 hours of reading.
Hell yeah, dude.
So Walden, in leafing through this book, there's all sorts of correspondence in here.
Oh, great. Do you want an insight check or anything, or just go for it?
You can make an insight check if you want, if you think that any of this is going to be, doctored, you think, or something like that?
Yeah, well, or just I guess you have to be looking for something specific with an insight check. But I'll do an insight check. That 19, I guess I'll use for the map.
Okay.
Because that's sort of coded information, I guess.
Yeah, you're looking to see if there's any code within this to see
Right.
if there's further information or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So basically what you can gather through your reading here is that this is a it's sort of Penfield's journal, if you will. It's got personal writings, notes on his correspondence and stuff back and forth. It's actually a very valuable piece of information that you've come across. And it details that I guess from what you can see, there's been a new capital that's been established on Kel. And it's something that he's calling Heart Lake Tower. And basically, the government is meeting there. And so that right now is Zafir and what's his name? Hold on. I lost
Barian.
Barian is there, but Zafir is also there. It also keeps mentioning Gaston. And
Did we
Should've
not kill him?
Should have killed him.
no, you do remember killing him. You also remember him falling into where the demon was.
Demon came out of Gaston.
So there's still mention of Gaston as if he is basically one of the figureheads of the Kingdom of New Kel on this capital. And so basically, there's sort of, because this is Penfield's journal, there's a little bit of insight into the fact that he is Barian's apprentice. And that it seems like they are the reason he's here is because they're searching for a Davari. They're searching for this device.
Okay.
And that he knows that the Kentaku tribe holds it, and that, it's pretty obvious after reading this that he's using the war here in order to just get himself to Rubia so that he can the emerald.
Okay.
And that whatever happens,
Well, he wants it for personal reasons then?
he wants it to bring it back to Barian. It seems
Very
that's
okay.
he's been sent here by Barian,
Got it.
basically to get the emerald as well. But the only way he's going to be able to get it is through guise of this like war, like proxy war.
Right.
And so whatever wake is going to be left in that, he's not there. The Frostline isn't going to stick around to figure that out.
All right.
It's just about getting that stuff and then leaving. And it seems like this is all in efforts to further Barian's goals of unifying all five of these Davari if he can, because he's already starting to learn how to use the one that he has, and that's how he raised this tower.
Where's the tower? Does it say?
It's in this. It's called Heart Lake Tower, and it does mention that it's in the center of Heart Lake.
Heart Lake's on Kel. It's been a while since I looked
at the capital of New Kel.
I'm gonna unroll one of the maps I have of Kel.
Yeah, it's like in the very center of Kel. Basically, there's a lake.
Ah.
So that's Walden. That's the main things that you gather from this. I'll also update the map that we have as to where their forces are going to like attack and stuff like that. I'll just put some little marks and stuff on it.
Okay. I'll share all the information with you guys.
When Falyun wakes up, I'm gonna pull my feather out of my cap and tell him that he can, as I promised Falyun, you can send a message to your mother.
I would love that very much.
Just speak your message into the feather and throw it up in the air.
Okay, I'll let me think about that.
So, you relay the information, Walden, to everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussions and stuff you guys want to have in the morning?
It'll be the afternoon by the time everybody's awake, since
That's true.
Falyun still had to sleep. And all right, so they're taking the lower path, and we're taking the upper path. Maybe we can destroy a bridge or something.
That would be helpful.
How do you feel about setting fire to a bridge, Viz?
Well, if it would fuck over the locals, I don't like it.
It's gonna fuck over everybody.
There's no doubt that it will be super destructive. But I guess what's more destructive in the long run?
True.
Letting them get the Davari. So when we're on the
but it
right
looks like
side
the
of that
bridge
bridge,
is defended. So I mean, it's not. Let's maybe talk about that when we get there, because it looks like
we're taking the opposite path.
Well,
it's a shame we won't have time to fuck with them.
Right?
Yes, we're going north and then east. They're going southeast, then, the longer path.
However,
ours is quicker.
Not only that, but this is when the full army gets here in 8 to 10 days, and I assume that they'll have to take a day or two to get everything off the ships. So I think we have between safely 11 and say 15 days before they start marching. I would say 10 at the very earliest, though. So
all right, what are we doing?
there's a little X. What's the little X mean, Balden?
what do I glean about? What do I think it means?
You think these are areas that they're going to set up camps?
Okay, yeah, I think it's this place they're gonna set up camp, man.
Well, maybe there's no way they can make that first trek, that first leg in one day. It'll take at least 1, 2, 3 days to reach where they're first setting up camp, maybe?
Yeah, but there'll also be hundreds of them.
Well, yeah, or 1,000.
All right.
This will be something to think on while we travel this afternoon.
Yeah.
gents.
So
Absolutely.
I
This
will
will
say
be a
that's,
way
that's
to
where we'll
end it.
sort of
Yeah.
end. Exactly.
Can
So
can we
Walden's-
say we like set up camp and we head north, or we start our afternoon trek towards the north?
Yeah, exactly. You guys
Nice.
break camp and hop back on horseback, and begin traveling through the afternoon. And that's where it's perfectly timed. That's where we'll end things for the evening. Next session, hopefully getting us up to Nathanga Village and seeing what's going to happen with Falyuan's Rite of Passage, if that comes to be. And seeing what's going on with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And I think we'll call it Quest Hook out.
Quest took out in